Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm the person in charge of making money out of mobile at Google. I'm in charge of mobile advertising for the CEMEA region, which includes the Czech Republic. So you've heard a lot about mobile today. It was all about how quickly users are adopting it, how it's changing the internet. So what I want to give you is an idea of what you can do today with mobile advertising, with the mobile web, as marketers today, and what we expect to be the future in this respect. I guess the main message that we want to throw out is it's changing very fast, and we feel that companies need to wake up now to what's going on. If you want to be ready for when mobile really matters to business, you need to start investing now. And that's essentially some of the messages I'll be showing, as well as some demos of some of the ad formats we offer today. So let's start with a couple of rules that I think everyone should apply when thinking about their mobile strategy as marketers, advertisers, businesses. The first rule I would highlight is it's not just the internet crammed on a small screen. That's the fundamental first rule that everyone needs to keep in mind. The people use it in a different way with different usage patterns, different types of queries on Google. So you have to almost rethink things from scratch. The other important thing to keep in mind is the smartphone is actually a much smarter device than the laptop or the desktop. As we've said before, it has a camera, it has a sensor, it knows where you are, and that potentially offers huge opportunities for anyone who's trying to sell or promote something or promote a brand. So fundamental to understand that as well. The last thing is it's opening a lot of opportunities to connect the online world with the physical world. For the first time, consumers have a computer when they're entering a store, and they have full access to the internet. Our thesis is that this is going to fundamentally change the way retail is done. And we're going to touch upon a little bit of that. So the first thing, and I won't get too much into that, is because we've told you that 20 times already today, it's already a significant market, right? In Czech Republic, give or take, you've got between 20 to 25% of the population that already has a smartphone, depending on which source you're talking about. And we expect that in the US, for example, which is the most advanced market from a smartphone perspective, more than half of the population, children included, will have a smartphone by the end of this year. So smartphones become the reference. And very quickly you get to a point where there's actually more people connecting to the internet with smartphones than with laptops. So this is the environment in which I think we will be in the Czech Republic 3-4 years down the line, is there will be more people connecting to your website through a smartphone than from a PC. That's a fundamental shift that's happening, and it's going to happen very, very fast. There's 1 million devices, 1 million new smartphones that will be activated in the Czech Republic this year, another 1 million next year. So very, very, very fast is the second rule. Another stat around this is the speed at which we're seeing search queries on mobile grow. The number of queries we see from mobile phones in the Czech Republic has been multiplied by 4 in less than 2 years. The number of queries as a percentage that is coming from mobile phones relative to desktop has doubled. It's now in excess of 5%. In the US, in some search categories, more than 25% of search queries are coming from mobile phones. And every day it's increasing. So again, it's just adding to the point that the core assumption is 2-3 years down the line, the internet will be primarily mobile. And laptops and desktops will be a second thought, especially if you account for tablets in this story. Anyone know who this is? Nobody. Well, that's unfortunate, because believe it or not, this is the guy who invented the mobile phone. His name is Martin Cooper. He used to work at Motorola, and in 1973, he made the first phone call from a mobile device. And by the way, he's not the reason why Google bought Motorola, because he doesn't work there anymore. But the reason why I wanted to show Martin Cooper is that our other thesis is that from an advertising and marketing perspective, the mobile advertising landscape is pretty much in the state in which the cell phone industry was when Martin Cooper was working. We're still in very, very early days, right? I'm going to show you some formats of what you can do in terms of advertising and promotion today on a mobile phone. I would argue that this is still very rough, and that we will see things improve dramatically over the next 3 to 5 years. So let me play this video while I'm preparing my demo. Okay, so this was to give you a first taste of the kind of things you can already today do on a mobile phone. And this is not a small business for Google. Remember that more than a year ago at our quarterly earnings, we admitted publicly that this business was already on $1 billion run rate. This is already $1 billion business for Google. I'll let you make your guess on how big it is for us today, but with the growth rates that we're seeing, it's arguably a multi-billion-dollar business for Google. Now, I'm going to give you a sense of the kind of things that we're offering in terms of advertising on mobile today, and give you a sense of how they differ from what you can find on the desktop. Now, as you know, Google is active both as a search advertising vehicle, and also we have a number of display propositions. We've adapted our search, our AdWords product to smartphones. We've recognized that the way people use it, the way we should rank ads and decide which ad to place should be different. We have different signals. We can account for the location of the user. We can account on his past mobile history. So we've adapted the way we place ads, and we've also adapted the formats. And I'm going to show you some examples of these formats. So one first thing that came to our mind is to say, well, the smartphone is a phone, right? And there's a lot of circumstances if you're searching on a smartphone where you actually might find it more convenient, rather than to browse a website, to actually call the business you're looking for. So the first search format that we implemented that is specific to mobile, that you'll never find on the laptop, is a click-to-call format, which basically allows you, if you see an ad, such as this one for an auto insurer in the US, to, instead of visiting the website, simply click on the ad and literally call that insurer. There are a number of industries and businesses that actually like this better than taking people to a website, because they see better conversion rates if they get people to call them, especially if we're talking about a complex purchasing process, such as a car insurance. So that's the first example of how we adapted the format. The other thing we did was, well, we have this information about location. In a lot of cases, we know where the user is when he's searching for something. So why not make it easier for the user to find where the advertiser is? So we introduced hyperlocal formats, which essentially tell you at what distance you are from the advertiser. So it looks like a regular text link, the only difference being, you know you're 2.5 miles from this advertiser. And if you're decided that you're interested in this advertiser, by clicking again, you get a map, and the advertiser can see you. So this is the first step towards being able to track an ROI between advertising online and bringing people into your store. We're big believers of that. We think that through mobile phones, we'll be able for the first time to properly demonstrate ROI between advertising online and people coming into stores. Let me give you a last example of a search format, and then we'll move on to display. Now, another related format is that if you're able to bring a computer into a store, we might be able to tie online advertising to coupons and promotions, right? There's a lot of companies that do coupons, promotions to drive people into stores. So we introduced an offer ads format, which is essentially, again, kind of looks like a regular AdWords search ad, but we give the opportunity to the advertiser to put a coupon into it that customers can bring into stores. So you might see there's a little plus box with the word offer, and if I click on it, then I get this little coupon, okay, which in this case offers free shipping. Now, you can have a barcode, it can have anything, it can be tied into the advertiser's redemption system, and if the user brings the coupon into the store, he can redeem and take advantage of that coupon. So all of a sudden, the whole world of promotion and couponing moves online thanks to the mobile phone, okay? So that's it for search. Then display. Display is a very different world on mobile phones for one particular reason that you're all aware of, is that people on mobile phones don't just use the web in a standard way. They also use apps, right? So we have to reflect the fact that, we have to reflect the fact that we will see ads both in applications as well as on websites. We also have now tablets, which is a new format, which arguably offers different opportunities to standard smartphones because of the bigger screen. I like to compare tablets from an advertising perspective as the perfect crossover between a laptop and a magazine, because you can get that full-page immersive experience that you get from an ad in a glossy magazine. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we're building, which tries to take advantage of the unique capabilities of a device like a smartphone or a tablet. And we claim that we can actually create display advertising that is potentially more effective than what we could see on a laptop. So first, the question comes of where can you place ads? So currently, we kind of offer standard formats as you would find on a usual website or on an app, leaderboards, rectangle, and so forth. But they start becoming more interesting let me show you this one, for example. So this looks like a pretty standard leaderboard ad as you would find on any website. But what gets interesting is the ad itself actually takes advantage of the fact that this is a tablet with a motion sensor. So if you see, the ad is reacting to the fact that I'm moving the tablet, right? See? The stars are moving according to my motion. Now, this is a very basic example, but it kind of gives you an idea of the potential that these ads could have. Another example of something that could like a fairly standard app, this ad for Porsche, it looks pretty bland, but actually no, it's a touch ad. If I play with it, see with my finger, the ad reacts. Okay, so we're trying to take advantage of all these unique capabilities of tablets and of smartphones to make the ads more engaging and more interactive. The other thing is you can get into far more immersive formats. To me, interstitials are a little bit like full-page magazine, full-page ads in a magazine. You know, before an app launches or before a web page opens, you could see an app like this one, which again will react to touch. And if I open it, then I move into this kind of mini app, where again I can play with the vehicle here. And this loads very quickly. It's all in HTML5. It works on any platform. And you can get a whole host of information. Also, we want to make it easy for advertisers. So we're building this on templates so that it's easy for agencies to create an ad like this relatively quickly. I'll give you some other examples of some of these templates, right? So imagine you're in the fashion industry. You might actually like that particular format here, which we've created for a luxury online brand in the US, which essentially, again, reacts to touch and works like a glossy magazine. And then users can actually delve into the magazine. Last one I wanted to show you. It can also integrate video. So this is one of the most sophisticated we've done for Volvo, which basically launches a video from the moment where the user clicks on the banner. And then on top of the video, you have a number of buttons at the bottom of the video that allows you to interact with the ad. I'm not going to take you through all of it because we're short on time, but it's essentially to give you an idea of the potential of this. We view tablets as laptop to the square in terms of display advertising. I think for brand advertisers who like magazines, who like the high definition experience of a full page ad, we're going to be able to deliver things that weren't as attractive on laptop. So that's it for me. So to kind of wrap it up, if you have to remember 3 things about mobile advertising on mobile today. One is, the time is now. People are using it. As I said, it's a multi-billion-dollar business for Google already. You can do it in the Czech Republic. All our products are available. If you don't do it now, you'll be late, and 2 years down the road when most of the traffic will be coming from mobile phones. It offers specific formats that offer particular opportunities, especially in relation to the link between online and offline, which will only be reinforced when we have payments enabled on mobile phones, and we can connect transactions with advertising and again measure ROI in a more effective way. The last thing to keep in mind as well is you need to have a proper strategy on mobile. You need to decide whether you want to do an app or whether you want to build a website. If you decide to go for a website, make sure it's a website that works on smartphones and it's not just a rendering of your desktop website. Do the test now. Try to open on your smartphone the website of your company and have an honest judgment of it. Does it actually work? In most cases, we see advertisers still assuming that people are going to be okay in using a standard website on a small screen, and that doesn't work. You need a mobile optimized website. That's a critical thing to keep in mind. So that's it for me. It was quick, but I wanted to give you a sense of what was already possible today and also what the future may look like. You have to start now is our argument if you want to be ready from when this will become the mass market online. Thank you very much.